So we just got the donkeys out of the field now, and they got their hoofs paired this week. Jared Joyce kindly does the hoofs every year for us this last 20 years or so. So we're going to put the halters on them here. I'm going to bring them over to the shed there and put the straddles on them outside where there's a bit more space over there. So I think we're ready to go now with the halters all on. And that's it. We're ready to go now and put the straddles on them. So we're going to put the straddles on the donkeys now. This straddle is a straw mat made by a local man called Billy Gallagher. Meitheal, you'll take the belly band there. The hay is under it so that the straddle won't put down on it, just a bit of comfort for him. This is the choke band to stop the load falling back on him. It's a very important item. Because obviously as you're going up, the load is going to be falling back on him.
Them are the scorrogs.
These are the scorrogs, yeah. The bag will go across here, tied together, and it'll go between them and hang down. Or some people hang them individually off the thing, but we to put them in, we to tie the bags together so that they go sitting. You'll see it later in the shed. And the thing, this is the belly band. The belly band has to be tight.
Keep the straddle in place.
To keep the straddle in place. Because as the load goes on them, the straddle will go down on the donkey and the belly band will loosen. And my father used to open every straddle after we'd put it on and tie it again. And his very good friend Sean Harry, every straddle Sean Harry put on an ace when we were young lads, Dad would take it off and put it on again. Every straddle.
And if you didn't tie it tight, the load and the straddle is all land on the ground.
Yeah.
And you had to tie it tight.
Once, Pete. You tie it
do it once and do it right. That lad is ready for his load now. That straddle Seamus is putting on now was specially made by Michael Hastings for the Ginnet. The Ginnet is a cross between a horse and a donkey, and he's much stronger than a donkey, and bring bigger load. So this was it Michael Hastings that made this stat?
Yeah.
So Michael Hastings, my uncle, made this for the Ginnet because there's 4 scorrogs on it, because he can bring nearly twice what a donkey would bring. So the Ginnet could bring a bottle of gas, a yellow bottle of gas each side, quite comfortably, along with some minerals. A donkey wouldn't be fit to do that. And the load has to hang even. It has to be balanced.
And were you involved with the building of the extension in 1960s?
No, we done the
Seamus and Pete were they?
Yeah, I was involved in it. This is for the extension in the church. I brought up the timber, cement, sand, windows, shuttering, and expanding metal. I started in mid-May, and it was going on until September for one side of the church, for one apartment in the church. And the following year, the other side was done the following year. The days that I was working, I was paid triple as much as you get down on the mainland. But everything had to be, it was all handwork and all. I seen the lump hammer that they were using, and it was all worn down to the eye where the handle goes in. It was just like worn down. So that was some hammering and some belting.
It's less longer nowadays anyway.
Yeah. So sand was lovely for bringing, but timber expanding metal and shuttering.
They were awkward.
They were awkward.
Awkward, yeah.
Oh, and especially with our side of the mountain. Our side of the mountain, there's an awful lot of rock and cliffs. And they'll be out over the donkey's head and out over its tail. And they may say, going up our mountain now, you'll be going round the cliff and the expanding metal, it hit a rock and to send the donkey back on his feet. And if you hadn't the choke band, I'd say on, the whole load would be on the ground.
Timber's awful awkward.
Timber.
Long timber's very awkward for
long
bringing
timber.
up. Yeah. We should bring timber every 5 years, I suppose. And we cut up a sheet of 8x4 ply for the counterboards. It would last about 5 years, you'd have to bring it again. But the Guinness was a great animal for bringing counterboards or timber because he's that much taller than a donkey. So it won't be hitting off the rocks and the walls like Pete was saying because he's so much taller. But he will try, and these boys will try, to pull themselves along rock to pull off the load. Always do. They'd tear themselves along, the hill wall. Like.
Right,
They'd pull themselves along the wall trying to knock the load off, or the timber, whatever they had.
So your stall, when would you ring up your stall? A couple of days before?
No, we'd normally start 5-6 weeks before, and you'd go a few evenings after work. Dad would have the loads ready when we come from work, and we'd, in the latter years, we'd head off then and leave the loads up. And you'd be doing that for about 3 weeks. You'd have about 10 runs with water, minerals, chocolate, timber. The covers were very awkward because they're bulky and heavy. And the week of the pilgrimage then on the Friday evening, you bring up the milk, the tea, the chocolate, the perishable things. You bring them up Friday evening. And then on Saturday, when you go Saturday, you go around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock Saturday, and you'd have your sandwiches, the clothes for the night, the food for the night, sausages, rashers, whatever you had in the latter years since when we got gas. And you'd head off and you'd stay up there until Sunday evening. You'd set up the stall Saturday evening around 6-7 o'clock, and by the time you get that covered and everything is about 10 o'clock, you'd set up, get all the tent ready inside for the morning, set up the gas and get everything organised, get the minerals. Where we used to hide the minerals from the few weeks before under the stones, so you get them up and bring them in ready for the morning and organise everything, get the kettles ready, get everything ready, and that was it then. Ready for action. And if there was other tents there, well, there was when we started. The O'Grady lads from Murrisk had a tent, Mike Hines and Tommy had a tent. This is in my time now. Brendan Conway, of course, was there. And it ended up, the last 10 years we were only ourselves and Brendan Conway, and then it ended up with ourselves, and then COVID put an end to the whole lot altogether. Because everybody going to the mountain now has a bag with them. Tea, sandwiches, water, so it's not a viable enterprise.
What was last year you were up there?
When was COVID was 2019, yeah.
And I remember Paulie telling me once some lady from Animal Lovers asked him were the donkeys looked after, how to look after. Well, Paulie said, do you think I'm fairly well looked after? She said, yeah. Well, he said, them donkeys are better looked after than I am. And they have to be looked after, not a month beforehand, but 12 months beforehand. The donkeys have to be well fed, which they are. It's very important.
If you open the gate going to the hill, where we'd start climbing at Hollands over the road, if you open the gate, all these donkeys will nearly know the way they went before. So all you have to do is maybe hold on to them for 5 or 10 minutes, but then they'll go the exact same track they've went for long before I was born anyway. Yeah. They'll follow the same path. As long as the load is level, or the load is balanced and won't be twisting and turning, they'll walk away themselves. The Guinness never would. Guinness, totally different kettle of fish. The Guinness had no direction. You had to hold the Guinness all the time. Yeah. From when you leave here until you come back down again, because the Guinness has no sense of direction. Will not follow a donkey, will not follow the path
Oh, yeah.
at all, no.
No.
So the donkeys, all you have to do is walk after them, they go themselves. Ginnet will not do that. Never did, and we've had 5 or 6 Ginnets that never do that.
And if there was fog or anything, the donkey will follow the path all
Yeah.
the way down.
Hang on to him, yeah?
Yeah, but the donkey, he wasn't short of things to eat because the minerals was packed, the bottles was packed with hay. And there was lines of hay between every dozen of them. Lines of hay. And the donkey got that hay above it on the reed. So the donkey wasn't hungry. And we'd always put a bag, if he was overnight above him on Croagh Patrick, we'd put a bag across. The straddle was on him. We put a bag across here on him to keep him warm. And he was well looked after. Like, it wasn't that many would say that he was starved. No, he wasn't. He was well looked after.
And they'd have a handful of oats. A handful of oats up there as well for the Saturday night as well.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think they're going to get the loads ready now and hang the loads on them and head for the hills, as the man says. We'll, come on. Seamus and Dad here are going to get the loads ready for the putting on the donkeys in the old barley oats bags, whatever, that's what's always used. Obviously they won't tear and you can use them again and again. The main thing is the load has to be balanced, so they're going to put same weight on in each bag so that it'll balance on the donkey. One of the kids stole a can out of this, but that can't be helped. Seamus said this morning they used to do it too. So.
Yeah. Old habits.
Old habits.
Would there be many bags to bring back?
We used to bring. How many loads? How many minerals we have? It's a bit. 20 years ago, things were very busy, but as people start to bring in their own bags and their backpacks and their bottles, things are quieter. So, I don't know how many cases we'd have got. How many cases would we have got, Dad?
20 dozen now.
You would, or you would. In the busy times, you'd have more than 20. You'd have, I'd say, 30 dozen, maybe more. And as time went on, obviously the tent was getting quieter, and everyone had their own flask and their own bag and whatever they had with them. So things got quieter then. The soup and the tea, I don't know what year that started. The soup and the tea was the main thing, because Reek Sunday normally tends to be not a very nice day. So the soup and the tea was the big draw. The soup was powder soup. And we bring up the water with gas. We make it up the gas burners. This is how we tied the bags. Other people did them different ways, but this is how we were taught to do it. You wrap one bag around the other and then tie them so they won't slip. The nylon bag will not slip, so that as long as the loads are balanced, they'll sit on the donkey.
I've gone to the Reek a lot of times and I tied a lot of bags, but I only tied them once. In the 50 years, I tied the bags once.
Well done the first time.
Well done the first time, yeah.
That's for sure.
And every bag that Dad's made when we were young, Sean Fergus, Sean Array would tie, Dad would open it and tie it again. And when Dad would go to the house to get something, Sean would give us a bottle, and then myself and Gerard, we were young then, and the load would be unbalanced and they'd fall out about that. And normally you didn't end up talking for about 3 hours for the rest of the day. But Sean was a character. But our thing was you do an extra few runs and load the donkeys light so they wouldn't be killed. If the donkeys are loaded light and the load is balanced, they'll walk away more or less on their own. If you put heavy loads on them, it just doesn't work out well. So we go an extra day or two and load them light. the loads would be heavier than this now. A donkey would bring 100 weight. He'd have 96 cans of orange, 48 each side. That's the average load, and that's a nice load. They'd handle that no bother. That was the standard load, or 3 boxes of chocolate each side. The ginners used to bring the gas, a bottle each side, but it'd be a bit much for a donkey, really.
So was it Corey's job to have all these ready for you?
This was Dad's job, yeah.
I spent many hours here. Kitty used to bring me the tea here. Will we put them on?
2. Yeah. So this is how it goes on. It has to go across between them, and each bag has to hang down the same distance each side, so it's level. So if the bag is tied right and the load is balanced, you won't have to touch that donkey again until you get to the top of the mountain, because he's a light load, it's balanced, and away he goes.
Well, recently I was in Dundalk at a funeral, and this man said, "I think I know you," he said. God, I said, "I don't know you." He said, "It's 32 years ago." He said, "You still owe me £10. I said, "Why is that?" I said, "I don't remember." He said, "I handed in £20 on the top of Croagh Patrick for a cup of tea and a sandwich 32 years ago, and I'm still waiting for the change."
He wouldn't have been getting a lot anyway.
I've heard there was a dear cup of tea on the top of the Reek Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Some people would pay €10 for tea. Other people, if you gave it for nothing, they weren't happy. No. And in recent times,
The soup was a great seller.
soup was €5. Soup was a great seller. And tea was.
And the cup, it warmed their hands. They
Yeah.
had their 2 hands around the cup like that. Their hands would be frozen, like, and the hot soup and
the
cup,
soup, yeah.
it warmed their hands.
Yeah. As long as they didn't see the bottle of Jameson.
That was its best. Its best.
Yeah, we had fantastic neighbours for helping on the Reek. Yeah. Myself and Pete, we always put up mine at Pete's first, whichever
That's
it
right,
was, and Brendan Conway was the same way. We were the team that was on the Reek at that time. They were one. They were like a football team.
Well, they were, yeah.
They were one.
Often united.
Yeah, that's
They
right,
were
Pete,
often
yeah.
And one would help the other.
One would help the other. Yeah.
If you was short of something, you give me something.
Yeah, yeah. Always did. Always did. Very easy to.
Yeah. If I was short of milk now, you would give me milk, and if you was short
And
of.
I can remember one fine year when the bottles were in it. Oh, there was everybody was out of minerals, but we had some few bottles in water. And the Lushman and Johnny Welsh took one, spilled a little drop out, and put a little drop of orange into it, and he said, and it went like that. There were lots of tricks done on top of
And did any of you ever get a cold from being up or down?
No.
Did any of you ever get sick?
I often left the house, and it might be only gone 200 or 300 metres away from the house, and to be raining that heavy, there was no such thing as oil gear. It was just the coat and the cap and your weltons. The weltons, you could hear them squeaking. And you keep going. You keep going, and after the whole lot, you come down and change, and no one ever got cold. Whatever was in the reed. If I done that now, and I went to the mountain gathering sheep, and my weltons were filled up with water like that, the next day you'd be snuffing and coughing and spluttering, and there you are. But no, not after the reed. Whatever was in the reed, you'd never get a cold. Yeah. And
when we started going, Dad used to tell us that, like, and we thought it was bullshit altogether. Like.
Yeah.
But I never Even after staying above the nights, you get drowned, it's soaked
yeah,
wet all day.
Wet
Never
all
got
day,
sick,
yeah.
never had the flu, sore throat, nothing.
No.
Might have an odd sore head, but
Myself and my mate Sean Array we were talking about before, I can remember well, one Garland Friday. We had different colours of garments on us, but the day got so bad, we had to lie down, leave the donkeys, lie down. The little small stones were whirling at our face, marked our face, we were bleeding. We had to lie down to let this bad storm pass.
Yeah.
And it passed over, but when we came down, we were red, green, all our clothes were all faded. We had no rain gear on it. We spent some awful days on it, and we spent some lovely days.
Lovely days, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's so sad.
Would
But
you
the
have
later
had
never-
regular customers, we'll say, to the stall? Would you get to know people over the years?
Oh God, yeah. The people we met on the Reek down through the years, they were fantastic.
They were very straight.
They were, yeah.
They were, yeah.
If they could help you, if they had anything, even if they had somebody with looking for change or something, if they weren't involved, they'd try and help out with change or something like that. They were really super. There's one man missing today, Anthony. Anthony just couldn't, Anthony was working. Anthony used to be the cook. He was a great man, try rashers and sausages and everything. He was a great man with the pan. Now he used to have a good bit of eating himself before he could get any, and he was round. But he was a great man cooking, Anthony.
It was pity he wasn't here now.
It was-
And who was the fry for?
Oh, the fry was for all the staff. Yeah.
You can imagine the smell that would be.
Oh, the
that
smell.
Oh,
That's in Dundas.
That was part of it, Eamon.
Yeah.
The fry used to bring them, we'd say Pete's tent was over there, Pete might have no fry.
Yeah.
We'd have the fry here, you see, and they'd
all that.
they'd all land our
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you had a few onions. Imagine.
But I'd safely say, like, before the, like, say, them stalls, what they are of old, an awful lot of people had begun by the wayside. Because, you see, they came on buses, they came on trains to Westport, and they were buses out to Murrisk. And they had started off in early, and when they went to the Reek, they always done the station. Before they do the station, they'd land into the tent and they'd have tea and sandwiches. And if they liked what they got, once they'd done the station, they were back in again. And they'd leave the top and come down to Gorrymore, that was the third station. And they had to go back up again and down on the Murrisk side. So, like, if them people aren't in heaven, I don't know what to say.
And some of them in their feet.
And majority of them was in their feet.
Yeah.
the lunatics.
So they used to leave a lot of money on Croagh Patrick that time. And like them that come that far, if they hadn't tea or something to eat in that length of time, and we weren't there, or drinks, you know, mineral and all that, if we hadn't that, I suppose we kept anyone, you know.
Yeah.
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 So when it came to daylight, it was a real robbery for the people that had the shows. Everyone had their own little knapsack on their back, that their few sandwiches, few biscuits, a roll or whatever, and they didn't want anything. Because the other why, everyone had their own car. They weren't waiting for the bus. See, the people, when they go to the Reek, they'd have to wait for everyone had to come back again and blow camels. So everyone had their own car when it came to daylight, and they'd be back at home in a couple of hours. So that finished all the tents on the Reek.
What year was that? What year did the night? 76 was it? No?
73.
73 was it?
Yeah.
It changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the 70s with the night pilgrimage, they used to be 75 to 80,000 on it. on that one night. There was a lot of people in the centre that were going back in the 70s, 60s, 70s. Yeah, there was 18 stalls at that time. Yeah. A couple of years before that, there was 24. There was Peter Pecky Welsh, Johnny Welsh, Tim Conway, Mary Ann Kindergan, Mrs. Gill,
McNeil,
McNeil, yeah,
Eddie Baines,
Eddie Baines,
Mikey Kelly, Eddie Welsh, Tom Keenan, he was
that go back to
one for quite, yeah.
Bernard Macklin.
Macklin. Yeah.
But I remember one story with Bernard Macklin. It was later down in the years, he was getting old, and my brother John went in co with him. And the following morning, somebody met Bernard. How did you do on the top of the Reek, Bernard? How could I do on top of the Reek? He said, a half a loaf is no good to a hungry dog. So he had to split half of it to brother John. He said, a half a loaf is no good to a hungry dog.
Was there many stalls down the Murrisk side then?
There was.
Yeah, there was. Heritages used to have a lot of stuff.
Tommy Haw,
Tommy Haw, yeah.
Peggy Hines,
Peggy Hines, the Greatest.
yeah, the greatest Morris, yeah.
Just before we do part, in case you would part, all the ones that helped making sandwiches, and there was a lot of sandwiches in the years, Bernie, Kitty and everybody, just to say thanks.
Very good.
We're making the sandwich now for the top of Croagh Patrick. They'll head off on Saturday now with them, midday, and ready for Sunday morning. So we usually make about 22 loaves. A variety of ham, turkey, cheese, tomato, whatever is going.
Yeah. Would they be the last thing to go up with the donkeys?
Yeah. And the sandwiches and the milk would be the last. The milk wouldn't go sour up there because it's always cold up there.
And would you have gone up, Kitty?
I did in the earlier years. I haven't gone up for at least 4 years now. I might go again, you never know. Very truthful. I would like to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a big shopping done the week before, was there?
Oh, big shop.
The bread man would come here. He'd drop everything off. We'd order it. Well, Mum would order it. She'd go back to Louisburgh and she'd order it, and he'd come here in the morning, and the bread would actually be still warm in the packets. He'd come early, Mum, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah.
And the milkman would come here as well.
His name was now, I forget. And of course we got all the other commodities from Cash and Carry, O'Connor's.
In Westwood.
I think they've actually closed down since.
Yeah.
We look forward to that day shopping. Be a big day for the minerals, the tea, the soup. When they come down on Sunday morning, they are Sunday evening. It'll be about 5-6 o'clock in the evening, maybe later. They always look forward to a nice beef dinner, roast beef. Do you remember?
The best.
Yeah.
Better than Christmas dinner.
Yeah, always. Oh, they bring the fry for the night that we were talking about. They bring the rashers, sausages. These are the ones Anthony would cook at 1 o'clock in the morning. Always. That was the big deal up there. They'll all meet up from the different tents and have a good fry. That was
And who made the soup?
the soup.
Patrick.
Was made above.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the big boxes of the powder soup, and it's lovely.
And did you bring up big pots of there, or in the kettles, or how do they make the
Big pots, yeah.
big pots?
And the soup ladle and...
They're still hanging out in the shed in pots.
When you started doing the food with your stall, was it after the nighttime pilgrimage, after the 70s?
Oh
No.
no, it was all the
I said things went better in the nighttime pilgrimage. And not as good since they changed to the day. There was
You have to keep people coming all night long for tea and soup and sandwiches because the masses would have gone on every hour during the night.
I don't know what year that changed.
Jamie says 73.
73.
Oh, 73.
Yeah, 72 or 73. And did you go to was there some mention of a hoolie or a party or something after?
Oh, Stanton's always.
What day was that or what did you do?
That'll be the Sunday night. Sunday night, everyone that had a tent on Croagh Patrick went down to Stanton's Sunday night. And it was some night. It was fantastic. Singing and music until maybe 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
Even though everyone was very tired, but
You'd be afraid to go to bed in the afternoon in case they fall asleep and miss the
Yeah.
night.
we'd stick it out.
There's only one person that I know of that can sleep on the Reek, and that's Park Needham. How he can do it, I don't know.
And they were saying that none of them ever were sick after a night on the Reek.
That's true. The Peace Welsh were saying it there, and how they the Wellingtons, they filled with water. Nobody ever got a sickness after Croagh Patrick, no matter how wet they got or how cold it was. Never.
Will you miss the Reek Sunday and the
We really miss it.
Would miss it.
Really miss it.
It was a big event for all the neighbours, wasn't it really?
For the big event, and you'd meet all the neighbours up there, and the priests would always come down and come in for their soup and sandwich. Every one of them. And that was a lot, and there was 6 or 7 or more priests up there at the time.
So when we've the sandwiches made, and this would normally be one of our jobs, we weren't experienced enough to make the sandwiches as good as the old stock. So our job would be to wrap them in cling film and put them into the barrel, and this barrel would go on the straddles, and we'd normally put 2 black bags in it, and we'd fill it as well with the wrappings from the bread, you know, to make sure that they'd be dry and all that. Then we'd wrap them in cling film, and we'd have a little system going. Maybe me and Orla might do this. That might be all we'd be allowed to do. And we just fill up the barrel, make a little round circle, and keep going until it's full. And then we'd put the bread wrapping on top and cozy them up. Then Dad would come in and tie them and double wrap it, put them in the barrel and hang them up on the ass then, and they'd be labelled. They're always labelled because Una was a bit of a stickler for organisation, so everything would have to be labelled perfectly. Or
What was in the sandwich?
or Dad would be in trouble when we'd get back down again. So like if these are outside of the tent and you send Meitheal off to go and get a barrel, she'll say, I want a ham now. And he'd come back and we'd lay them all out then. They'd be ready for off.
So Kitty, you wouldn't have been asked for much gluten-free bread or decaf tea or coffee?
Oh no. On Croagh Patrick, no.
But it was amazing what some people did ask for.
They asked Gerard one time for ice.
Ice?
For ice. And I'm not ringing him actually. I forget what he said, how he answered.
And that same year that they asked for the ice, a lad came and handed his phone in to Anthony and said, would you mind charging that for me and I'll come back? And Anthony took the phone off him and said, no bother at all. And the lad came back and genuinely thought that his phone would be charged, you know. I don't know how he thought.
Lots of people went up not knowing where they were letting themselves go, you know. Didn't know what they were letting themselves in for.
And going back to the soup, they asked for a special soup. You know,
Mushroom
or leek or whatever. Oh yeah, and Anthony always handed out the soup. Oh yeah, this is it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, which one they asked for. He had it was all in the one pot of it. And they didn't take a bit of notice.
No. So it'll be a different summer this year, no going to the Reek.
We haven't gone out since COVID. Finished it. It is sad, it's very sad. We do miss it.
The grandkids used to love it as well. They'd all come here in the morning on Saturday and they got promoted to this job then. But they used to love it when they'd see the asses going off, and It was
We
great.
all go over as far as Hollands through where near Mattress House and see them off. That's my young ones. But it was a great custom. Even to this day we miss it. It's probably never take place again, I'd say.
The great Meitheal between the neighbours and
Yeah.
friendships and kind of community spirit, wasn't
Yeah,
it really?
it was, yeah.
When we've everything wrapped and sealed and all the loaves are done, we'll close up the barrel and shout Dad, and Dad will come and take it and he'll put it on the donkey, and we have it labelled here on the outside, and we know what we're looking for then. When we get to the top, the lads will,
Panic starts.
when the panic starts, and people are hungry, we'll know where to go looking for it.
I've gone up every year, to be honest with you. The last 50 years or 60.
Do you remember the traders on the Reek?
Oh, I do, yeah.
So would you have got a cup of tea?
Yeah, I did get tea in it. Needham was the only one that was in it at the wind up. The Airn as well to bring up tea and thing, no fair play, you know.
So you'll go another year?
Oh, I'll go surely, with God's help. I wouldn't I go up. I'll go up into July now, God's help again. I go up, well. It's nice to go up on your feet, you know. Yeah, I like to go up, you know. Yeah. I enjoyed that day above.
Good.
Man, indeed I did. I enjoyed those most I enjoyed.
Yeah, I
You were
enjoyed.
great. Did you put the rest of us to shame?
I did not.
Yourself and Pete ran up. So
Yeah.
you did. Yeah, absolutely ran up. So you
I didn't take long. I was glad we went up. I was glad that you told me. I was glad that you'd gone up. The first couple of 100 yards is the worst when you start up. After that, no problem at all. But the only thing is awful cold at the top. Even a fine day now, there's an awful window at the top out, Even the last day now we were there, it was a beautiful morning, it was awful cold above, be honest with you. But there was a grand fire in it. That I enjoyed that,
We were lucky to get the fire.
I enjoyed the tents as well, And they put up the for the tent and all, close it down. That was nice. It was great to think of it,
Oh, it was. I mean,
Yeah.
and that was thanks to the Needham family
Yeah.
for getting involved and helping us to make it happen for
yeah,
one last time.
yeah, that's the last
So
story.
the next time we'll be talking now, you'll be up on the big screen here in the centre here.
It will not.